Hey guys, what's up? Toboloco here. Welcome back to your Subscriber World Cup for the month of May. Now, this one is a very special month, not only because it's before the Euros, but we had a lot of entries. I think we, in total, had around about 70 to 80 individual entries. So that means that I'm able to do 3 Subscriber World Cups for you today. How about that? So if you don't see your name here in this first one, then just assume that you're going to be in the second or the third one. So let's read out the names for the first set of people. So we got a lot of entries to go through, so I hope you don't mind me butchering your name. So Jordan, represented by Maxim, and Cora, Alex, SC, Belarus, represented by Triple R and Loras Channel, Cyprus, double entry, represented by Prophet XC III, and Socrates Zambus. Jamaica, represented by Montrax. Nepal, represented by Zion Molina and Renzo TNS 70. Comoros, represented by Anthony Dianico, sorry, I butchered it, sorry. Haiti, represented by Seth Hernandez. Sri Lanka, represented by Stickman. Philippines, represented by ST Mark 2004 and John Christian. Dominican Republic, represented by Football Central. Seychelles, represented by Mr. Vinny. Sierra Leone, represented by Football is the best sport, to be honest. Latvia, represented by Dose of Random Weekly. Scotland was a triple entry, represented by Stuart McCann, Cutter Historical, Wasabi 1982-1. Oh, it's actually a quadruple entry, sorry, and Black Off. So, Oman is represented by Anonymous I Am. Iceland, represented by Ivory Trance. Palestine, represented by Hotspur Bloke. Poland, double entry, represented by the AJ 0247 and Cosmics, and Impa as well. Sorry, that's a triple entry. Canada, represented by Canadian the Great and Blue Fire. Botswana, represented by Theon the Dog. Ukraine, represented by Grubby Coach. Australia, represented by Sean Lamont Tiger. Mexico, represented by Dark Ghost and Fernando Cruz. Honduras, represented by Mexican White. And Portugal, represented by Christian Grammar and Tracy Fern. Nigeria, represented by iPlaz and Really Edits. Colombia, represented by Copper Mundile 2026. Netherlands, double entry, represented by Splatskill and Joris the Pony. And in the final group, we have England, represented by Hamlet, Charlie Reynolds Gaming and Dale Onions. Italy, represented by Panimio and Isovea. France, represented by Cuthbert McVeigh. And Brazil, represented by Cassian and Alex P. So if you didn't get in this one, then you'll either be in the second or the third one. Don't worry, I've included as many people as possible. I've literally gone through around about 100 comments on this, so you know I've gone through it. So if I missed anybody, then I do sincerely apologize. Okay then guys, so I've done the simulations and this is how it's turned out for the first Subscriber World Cup. So you all know who you are if you're following the video correctly. You know, some of you that have dropped out of this one will go down into the second Subscriber World Cup. So in Group A we have Jamaica and Belarus going through. Group B, Haiti and Comoros going through. In Group C, Sierra Leone and the Philippines go through. In Group D, it was Scotland and Oman going through in that group. In Group E, it was Poland and Botswana going through. Group F, Ukraine and Mexico. Group G, Portugal and the Netherlands. And in Group H, it was England and Brazil, which sets up a round of 16 between Jamaica and Comoros. We have Sierra Leone versus Oman, Haiti versus Belarus, Scotland versus the Philippines, Poland versus Mexico, Portugal versus Brazil, Ukraine versus Botswana, and England versus the Netherlands. Alright then, so we're about to simulate this game on the round of 16, but there's a few matches that have actually already been played, and here they are. So Jamaica beating Comoros by 2-0. and Oman have beaten Sierra Leone by 2-1. And in the other games, we have the Philippines beating Scotland 2-1. That's a massive result for the Philippines. And Belarus beating Haiti by 2-1. So now we have Poland versus Mexico and Portugal versus Brazil. So Poland versus Mexico was actually a match that happened in the 2022 World Cup most recently. So we'll see what happens in this one when we simulate it. It was a 2-0 to Poland. Okay, could have gone either way. Now we have Portugal versus Brazil. Who will come out on top of the battle of the giants? Let's have a look. It was Brazil by 3-1. Okay, cool. Now we have England versus the Netherlands in this one. I'm going to go with England, I think. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my home country. Yeah, there we go. England actually beat the Netherlands 2-0, and Ukraine and Botswana drew 1-1. So I don't know if Ukraine have gone through or Botswana. We'll have to see. So in the quarterfinal, we have Poland versus Brazil. Is there a big result for Poland on the horizon, or will Brazil just carry on the momentum and go to the semis? Also, we have Jamaica versus Oman in this one, so we'll simulate this one. And it is Brazil beating Poland 2-0 and Oman beating Jamaica by 2-1. Now, I've just noticed something huge. Botswana actually beat Ukraine on penalties last round. So now we have Botswana versus England, which is absolutely insane. If Botswana can somehow pull it off, then that would be the most insane thing ever. And also we have Belarus versus the Philippines. So let's simulate this one and find out. Oh my god, I think Botswana just beat England 1-0. Botswana just beat England 1-0. That's insane. That's actually insane. The first subscriber World Cup of this video, and Botswana have got a huge result. Whoever picked Botswana, that's massive. And Belarus smashed the Philippines 4-1 to set up a situation now between Oman and Brazil and Botswana versus Belarus. Okay, so this should be a walk in the park for Brazil, really, in terms of who they got to play. Well, let's have a look. Oman versus Brazil. Let's simulate it and find out. It was... Oh my goodness. Oman. Oman have done something huge. They have knocked out Brazil. And we have got, in our first subscriber World Cup, Oman versus Belarus in the final. That is massive. We're definitely going to have to watch that final live. That is massive. I cannot believe that. Huge results already in this one. Can Botswana keep going with these good results though, and finish off their campaign in style with a third place victory against Brazil? Let's simulate it and find out. 3-0 to Brazil. Okay, so Brazil came third. So Brazil was represented by Cassian and Alex P. You have got third place. Congratulations to you guys. Even though, honestly, Brazil should have been winning those games at the end. They should have. And in fourth place, very impressively with Botswana, was Fiona V-Dog. Congratulations, massive congratulations to you. Because, you know, you're Botswana, dude. And you got all the way to the fourth place. So that's massive. So the weirdest final in, well, quite possibly the history of our subscriber World Cup. It's Oman versus Belarus. Really, really strange considering that obviously England and Brazil got to the knockouts. Portugal were there as well, and the Netherlands, but they all got dumped out. And now it's Oman versus Belarus in our first subscriber World Cup final of this video. Belarus are pressing. This could be a chance. Oh, why didn't he shoot? That's so weird. So weird behaviour. Okay, that's the only highlight of the match so far. Crossed in by Oman. It's headed. It's gone in. It's gone in. Al Maccabi, or however you say it, he scores in the 86th minute, and that could be the winner. That could be the winner against Belarus in this subscriber World Cup final. What a big play that was. And that is going to be it. Oman have won the Subscriber World Cup final, your first Subscriber World Cup final. So let me just read out who won it. So Oman was represented by Anonymous I Am. Congratulations to you. You are our winner for the first Subscriber World Cup of the video. And commiserations to Belarus, the people who picked them. That was Triple R and Loras channel. So unlucky, but you did finish second with Belarus, which is quite an achievement considering that there were bigger teams around you guys. So that's the first Subscriber World Cup done. On to the second one. Alright then guys, so this is your second chance Subscriber World Cup. So the people that dropped down, you should know who you are if you're following the video. So the 16 teams that dropped down from the first Subscriber World Cup come into this one, and I'm going to read out the 16 new people that we have in this one. So Russia is represented by Cold Edits, Armenia represented by Monster Jam Roblox, Chile represented by Visa Barker, Israel represented by Lahav Soto, Algeria represented by Uday Makufli, Faroe Islands represented by Hai, USA is a double entry between S9 Sliver and Lena. Bulgaria is represented by Andy GF. Egypt represented by Godzilla Fan 98. Kazakhstan represented by Six Peeps. Costa Rica represented by Brian Jimenez. Macedonia represented by Grabin. Vietnam represented by Mr. Krabs, Puerto Rico represented by Papaya, Ecuador represented by Mario Maraquin, and Ethiopia represented by Liquid. Let's get into this. Okay then guys, so this is your second chance Subscriber World Cup results in the group stage then. So let's have a look and see who has gone through and who hasn't. So in Group A, Israel and Armenia go through in Group A. Group B is the Dominican Republic and the Seychelles. In Group C, it's Kazakhstan and the Faroe Islands. Group D is Iceland and Chile going through. Very close group in that one. Group E is Macedonia and Algeria. In Group F, it was Australia and Nigeria going through in that one. Group G, Italy and Colombia managed to go through in that one. And in Group H, we have Russia and France going through in that one to set up a round of 16, which looks like this. We have Israel versus the Seychelles. We have Kazakhstan versus Chile. Dominican Republic versus Armenia. Iceland versus the Faroe Islands. We have Macedonia versus Nigeria. Italy versus France. We have Australia versus Algeria. And Russia versus Colombia. So in the round of 16 we have Kazakhstan versus Chile and Israel versus the Seychelles. So who will come out on top between Kazakhstan and Chile? Let's simulate that one. And it was Chile by 2-1, and Israel beat the Seychelles by 3-0. There were other games here as well. We have Dominican Republic and Armenia drawing 2-2, but it doesn't show us who won beyond that, so we'll find out in the next round. And Iceland beating the Faroe Islands 3-0. Next up we have Macedonia versus Nigeria and Italy versus France. Let's simulate that one and find out who wins. It was Nigeria by 1-0, and we have a big matchup now. Italy versus France. Battle of the Giants. Who will prevail? It will be let's have a look. It is France by 2-1. Okay, so next up we have Australia versus Algeria. So simulate that one, and that was a 2-0 to Australia. And next up we have Russia versus Colombia. Again, a tough one to call, but Russia actually won that one 2-0. Fair enough. Right, on to the quarterfinals where we have Nigeria versus France and Israel versus Chile. So let's see if Nigeria can overcome France and get to the semis. That will be a little bit of a surprise. It finished 2-2, so we won't know until the next round. And next up we have Israel versus Chile. Let's simulate that one. And it was 2-2, so again we won't know until the next round. Next up we have Russia versus Australia and the Dominican Republic versus Iceland. So let's simulate this one. Again, a little bit of a hard one to call between Russia and Australia. But Russia have been eliminated, France have been eliminated, and also Chile as well. So some big sides being eliminated in the quarterfinals. That's huge. We also have Iceland beating Dominican Republic by 2-1 to set up a semi-final then between these nations. We have Israel versus Nigeria and Iceland versus Australia. A bit of a random combination of nations. So let's simulate Israel versus Nigeria and see what happens. Let's have a look and see. That was 1-0 to Nigeria. So Israel have been eliminated. Nigeria advanced to the final. And we have Iceland versus Australia now. Who will come out on this one? Will Iceland be able to get to a World Cup final, or will it be Australia? Let's have a look and see. 2-2, so we don't know until... Oh, it was Iceland that got eliminated. So it's Israel versus Iceland in the third place playoff. And in the final, it's Nigeria versus Australia. Okay, that's pretty cool. So let's simulate the third place playoff between Israel and Iceland. It was 3-1 to Israel against Iceland. So let's see who was representing who. So Israel was represented by Laha Soto, so congratulations, you have come third. Iceland was represented by Ivory Trance, so again congratulations for hitting 4th place in this one. So our second subscriber World Cup, 2 of 3 for this video, and we have Nigeria versus Australia in the final. So again, I'm going to highlight it for you so it's a little bit easier to digest, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Here comes Emenike. Can he do it? Saved! But Nigeria scored the rebound, and Udamadi has scored to make it 1-0 in the 60th minute to Nigeria. This could be a big goal to win the second subscriber World Cup. And that is going to be game over. Nigeria have won the second subscriber World Cup of the video. So I can tell you that iPads and Really Edits are your champions because they represented Nigeria. The runner-up is Sean Lamont Tiger. Unfortunately for you, you come second, but still pretty good to get here with Australia. So now we have one more subscriber World Cup, and that is the third one of the video and the final one. This is your third chance subscriber World Cup for some of you, but this is ultimately the final subscriber World Cup. Basically everybody else is in here. So the 16 teams that dropped from either the first or the second subscriber World Cup are now here, and then we have 11 teams that are represented by new people, and I'll just quickly read them out. So Norway represented by Andre, Romania represented by Adrian Uritskan and Ebsi, Gambia represented by Titan, El Salvador represented by JC, Northern Ireland represented by Ryan Bromhead, Denmark is represented by Wasteland Wanderer, Lebanon is represented by Malik Adre Drabo, I'm sorry, India represented by Najama, Ireland represented by Johns Casa and Madman E, Spain represented by Patrick Mealy, and Andorra represented by myself. And then the bot teams, because we didn't have quite enough, are so the Turks and Caicos Islands, Anguilla, US Virgin Islands, and I believe San Marino as well. So we almost had a full house pretty much, but yeah. Let's get into it. This is your group stages for the last tournament of the video. So we have in Group A, the USA going through in that one, and the US Virgin Islands going through as well. The US Virgin Islands are a bot team, so they don't really count, but unlucky to the person who was playing as Jordan. Group B was El Salvador and Puerto Rico going through in that one. Group C was Ireland and Latvia going through. In Group D, it was Spain and Denmark going through in that one. Group E, Romania and Egypt. In Group F, Norway and Bulgaria. Group G, Ethiopia and India going through. And in Group H, Canada and Ecuador go through to set up a round of 16 between USA versus Puerto Rico, Ireland versus Denmark. We have El Salvador versus US Virgin Islands, Spain versus Latvia, Romania versus Bulgaria, Ethiopia versus Ecuador, Norway versus Egypt, and Canada versus India. Alright then, so let's simulate the last few matches of the video. So we have USA versus Puerto Rico. Gonna be an interesting matchup this. There could be a chance for Puerto Rico to get a big victory. Let's have a look and see. It was 4-0 to USA. Unlucky. Unlucky papaya. Ireland versus Denmark. Let's see what happens in that one. That's a tough one to call. It was a 3-2 to Denmark. Wow, pretty impressive there. Well done. Okay, now we have a potential shock on the cards if Latvia can make it. It's Spain versus Latvia. Let's have a look and see what happens in that one. Well, Spain just absolutely obliterated Latvia 6-0, and El Salvador and the US Virgin Islands drew 1-1, so we'll find out who goes through in the next round. We have Romania versus Bulgaria, a bit of a rivalry, and we have Ethiopia versus Ecuador. Let's have a look and see who wins those games. It was 2-1 to Bulgaria, and we have Ecuador versus Ethiopia. Potentially a shock on the cards for Liquid, possibly. Let's have a look. It was a 1-0 to Ethiopia. Wow! Nice one. Okay, Ethiopia providing a little, well, not a little shock, a big shock in the tournament. And now we have Norway versus Egypt and Canada versus India. Let's simulate that one. And, okay, so Norway beat Egypt by 2-0 and Canada beat India by 3-0. So next up, in the next round, we have USA versus Denmark and Bulgaria versus Ethiopia. Okay, hard one to call again, USA and Denmark. Let's have a look. It was a 2-0 to USA and 4-0 to Bulgaria over Ethiopia. Alright, so Ethiopia are out. Next up, we have Norway versus Canada and El Salvador versus Spain. So yeah, again, another tough one to call between Norway and Canada. Let's simulate that one. It was a 2-0 to Norway, and we have El Salvador versus Spain. Will it be a shock for El Salvador, or will they get obliterated 6-0? Let's have a look. Denmark have been eliminated. I think Spain went through, only by 1 goal though. So they squeezed by El Salvador to go to the semis. We have USA versus Bulgaria next, and Spain versus Norway. Could be an interesting final, possibly, if the game wants it. Let's have a look and see. USA versus Bulgaria. Let's simulate that one. It was a 4-0 to the United States. Wow. Okay, cool. And then we have Spain versus Norway. Will Spain win? I think they will. I think Spain will win that one. Yeah, 3-0. Spain have won that one. So that means it's Bulgaria versus Norway in the third place playoff. And we also have USA versus Spain in the final. Right, okay. So let's simulate the third place playoff and see who wins that one. It will be Bulgaria. So the third place playoff winner is Andy GF. So congratulations to you for finishing third in the third Subscriber World Cup. And Norway was represented by Andre. Congratulations or commiserations for finishing fourth. It depends how you look at it. But now we have a final between Spain and the United States to watch. I hope it's a good one. United States into the middle, all blasted over the bar. That's a bad mistake. Here comes Negredo. He scores to make it 1-0. The terrible mistake at the back from the United States. They couldn't clear it properly, and Negredo has scored before half-time to put Spain 1-0 up in this final. Over the top here, and Altidor's got it, and he puts it well wide. That was a terrible attempt. He should have just shot like normally, not like put it that wide. And that is going to be game over. Your champion on the third Subscriber World Cup is Patrick Mealy representing Spain. So congratulations to you. You have won the Subscriber World Cup, the third Subscriber World Cup that is. And USA was represented by S9 Sliver and Lena. So congratulations for getting to the final, but unlucky to miss out. You can blame Altidor for not equalizing in the final stages of the match. But that is your whole Subscriber World Cup for the month of May. You know, your 3 tournaments there. Amazing turnout for you guys. You know, I love it that you guys still love playing this game with me. So yeah, I didn't mention it at the start of the video, but I'll mention it in the comments that European teams only for June. European teams only for June. I know there's only 50 to choose from, but still, you know, European teams only, please. And if you did enjoy your Subscriber World Cup for the month of May, then give it a like and subscribe. Keep it loco as always, and I'll see you again for the next video. Sunrise.